Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's product showcase of Nursing Essentials for a Modular Future. I am Will Chapauskas, the North American Product Marketing Manager for the nursing portfolio here at Laerdal Medical. Before we get started, we have a few housekeeping items that we want to mention to make this time together more enjoyable as you are learning. We know you may have questions about the products that are presented today, and we encourage you to submit all questions using the Q&A chat in the Zoom meeting. We will do our best to answer as many questions during our time together. If for any reason you need to jump off our call or head into another meeting, the recording will be distributed after the event via email. In today's session, we will cover several topics to help you prepare for the next generation of nurses, providing them with the tools to build up their skills and competence, demonstrate stronger clinical judgment, and provide high-quality patient care to diverse patients, just as they would in a real healthcare environment. First, our product expert, Lucas, will provide you with a virtual head-to-toe of our exciting nursing and simulator modular platform. Able to represent many patients with one simulator, taking realism and simulation to an all-new level. You also have a chance to meet the newest addition to this game-changing modular platform as we reveal our next simulated patient. We will also introduce you to some of our other solutions developed to complement your high-fidelity sim lab training, such as Laerdal Scenario Cloud and Next-Gen vSim for Nursing. The combination of nursing and simulator with these products provides learners the opportunity to experience simulation first virtually, then in a physical environment where they can be exposed to the same scenario. Finally, we don't want to close out the session without hearing what's on your mind. As mentioned earlier, we hope everyone has a chance to enter their questions into the Q&A section of the chat. Now let's get started. I'm going to hand it off to Lucas Tomczyk, Product Manager for the nursing portfolio here at Laerdal. He will walk through a clinical overview of the nursing and simulator platform.
Thank you, Will. Hello, everybody. Happy to be here today with all those attending today's session, as we have some great new solutions to talk to you about today. Before we take you on a journey of showing you the complete learning simulation solution, we understand that you all have different needs. Some people are thinking about solutions that bring the simulated experience further into the lab with your students, while others are really looking for learning solutions that can seamlessly shift from inside the lab and take it to practically any learning environment that we can think of. Even 2 years later, we're still feeling the impact of the pandemic, where any solutions should be able to easily pivot between one or the other to produce uninterrupted learning for students. During these past couple of years, we've had an opportunity to speak with many of our valued customers, hear about their present and future challenges, and find ways to translate these needs into features or ways to use our simulations more efficiently in the simplest possible way. With the increasing shortage of nurses, preparing students for practice with the competence to handle the unforeseen realities of healthcare and caring for diverse patients is at the forefront of voiced needs. Helping schools with solutions that will increase pass rates with more confident clinicians as they build their skills and become practice ready. While this shortage impacts healthcare around the world, the challenge faced by schools is that while preparing students to pass competency-based exams such as the NCLEX here in the US, they must do so with either limited amounts of staff or budgets that may have been impacted by the pandemic. Saving time and cost with options that do not require lots of different sets of hardware and the need to demonstrate a return on investment requires making the most out of educational tools and solutions to work seamlessly together and to improve student learning with the essential skills they need. To demonstrate return on investment and make the most out of students' learning experiences, there must be an increase of efficiency in providing quality training and education with more practice opportunities. Giving students a way to continually practice without relying as heavily on campus resources or having instructors present. Learning platforms that encourage independent repetitive practice from a student's own device provide them the ability to improve clinical judgment and make decisions that would be expected of them in real practice. This is where high-fidelity virtual simulation, as part of a well-rounded educational solution, has been proven to make a difference. Not only during, but also beyond the pandemic, and has become a trusted form of training today. Meet Nursing and Simulator Modular Platform. She was first introduced in 2018, and she's gone from a realistic patient simulator to become a full modular platform, delivering basic to specialized skills practice, and is also compatible with other technologies to really enhance the simulation experience further. We have several patient modules today that we'd like to show you, including a sneak peek at our latest addition to this modular platform that's going to be launching very soon. We're going to start with our female patient simulator that you're all very familiar with, as that was the first module that was launched globally several years ago. What I have today is a dark version of Nursing and Simulator. And as you can see, she's a female patient from top to bottom. She is made with silicone-based skin to allow for to really extend the durability, to reduce the amount of cleaning and maintenance that is required, and really to give more of a realistic, natural feel when you touch her. One of the things I like to highlight on Nursing and Simulator, first up, is her ability to sit up without assistance. So if I just sit her up like this, she will sit on a bed without any additional support. This is a really great opportunity to highlight her breath sounds as well. So we have gone for anterior and posterior breath sounds, and I'll just take her gown down. You okay there, Nursing and Simulator? Just exposing you a little bit, I'm sorry. She does have breath sounds on the back, both upper and lower lobes, left and right, as well as breath sounds on the front, upper and lower lobes on there as well. We also have breath sounds on the sides for the axilla. Now, as she's sitting up, I'd like to highlight some of the anatomy that we have on here. So we do have a spinal process. We do have ribs to allow you to actually count the locations for your auscultation. When we look at the front, just popping you back down there a little bit, love. Cover you up a little, but we're still going to be talking about you. As you see on the front here, we do have even veins to really give you that realistic anatomical look. We have a sternum here as well. We have xiphoid process. We have actual ribs around that you can actually count and find the location marks for your where to listen. We do have heart sounds as well on here. And if I start thinking about her from top to bottom, really, we've got blinking eyes to allow you to give you that conscious state, conscious response. You can control the blinking speed, you can control the blinking movement as well. And as we come down, we have an anatomically correct airway to allow for the placement of oral and nasal airways, for the placement of laryngeal mask airways or other adjuncts of those kinds. It allows you to place an ET tube as well down into the trachea. And if placed too far, it will cause a right mainstem intubation on her as well. It does allow as well, Nursing and Simulator, for the placement of a nasogastric tube, including the measurement from the ear, nose to the xiphoid process. Speaking of the ears, we do have ears to allow for the placement of nasal prongs and even Hudson masks, so you can actually place them and tighten them as you normally would. We have a tracheostomy site, allowing you to practice the care and maintenance of a trach tube on a patient. And as we start coming down, just uncovering you a little bit more here, love, we have a site here for a central line to allow you to do dressing changes and actual care and maintenance of a central line, including injection training. We have a couple of sites for stoma care and allowing you to do the colostomy care and changing of the pouches. We have a G-tube site as well, allowing you to feed through the G-tube. One thing as well allowed on the belly is subcutaneous injections when you have the subcutaneous module. It simply slides underneath and then you can perform subcutaneous injections just right there in the abdomen. Everything we tried to do with Nursing and Simulator, we tried to make bilateral on both sides. So you will find nothing is replicated on one and not on the other. To give you some examples, we have a pre-ported IV site on one side and we have one on the other side as well, allowing you to give medications and give fluids. We have pulses, both radial and brachial on both sides, and we also have the ability to do a blood pressure reading on either side, both manually and automatic, with a site to actually get carrot cob sounds out of as well. You will have noticed a lot of articulation going on here. So we've got the arms, we saw her sitting up. I'm just going to cover you up a little bit here, love, just to maintain your dignity. But in addition to that, we also have complete articulation of the legs and hip as well. This allows you to perform a Foley catheterization completely from start to finish as you would on a real patient. The articulation that you find on this patient as well allows you to practice patient movement, patient handling, as well as allow for placement into various different positions, including cars, beds, seats, wheelchairs, as we will see shortly as well. As we're coming down the legs as well, we also, in addition, have pedal pulses on either one of these sides, both left and right side. So I mentioned everything is bilateral on the mannequin, everything is on both sides. It will allow you to do high volume fluid scenarios. There are bypass valves and tubes inside to allow you to really take on high fluid loads when you are treating this patient. And we also have a range of accessories and modules already available for our Nursing and Simulator standard. Some of those include a mastectomy front skin that simulates a post-mastectomy patient for the care and assessment of a mastectomy. We have, I mentioned, the subcutaneous pads for subcutaneous injections. We have staged wound feet to allow you to train the 4 different stages of pressure sores as well as diabetic feet. In addition to that as well, we have a sacral wound, a level 4 sacral wound for the backside of the mannequin to really give you that realistic hospital in-bed care. That, I think, covers most of the features for Nursing M Simulator, and I'd love to give you some examples of some of our extensions, such as the geriatric Nursing M Simulator. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Nursing M Simulator Geriatric. We released this to really help and support geriatric patient care, including communication with the patient and just diversity for patients in general, for students that they're challenged with in their training. So we developed the Nursing M Simulator Geriatric, available in both full body assembled mannequin as well as an upgrade kit to be able to change your existing Nursing M Simulator into the geriatric model. And we really tried to focus on some of the key geriatric elements when you're looking at nursing training. So firstly, from an appearance point of view, you can see it's quite realistic from a presentation, even age spots, etc. So we aimed for realism there. We do have pupils that are age appropriate. Currently we have cataracts in there, but there is a range of them that come with it, including arcuus senilis and cataracts and others as well. We have teeth that are appropriately aged and also dentures down there. As we come down, we have anatomical sites that you would expect from a geriatric patient, and as you can see, it could be both a male or a female pass 4, depending on what type of a presentation you would like for it. As we come down, we do have realistic anatomy here. We do have arms that are appropriate as well, age appropriate, with both age spots and the correct presentation. In addition as well, we have changed the pre-port on our Nursing M Geriatric to be this newer design that allows for a placement of a needle and then the removal of a needle and leaving of the cannula in there to allow you to provide fluid straight directly into the patient. As we come down a little bit further, just going to expose you a little bit more here, love. I'll help you out by covering you up down here. We do have both male and female genitalia to really support the gender agnostic presentation of our geriatric. We currently have the female genitalia here, allowing you to actually perform the catheterization, and as before, articulating legs, as we had with the Nursing M Simulator. As I come down a little bit further, we've also provided some age-appropriate feet for the geriatric patient, and as I mentioned before, the staged wounds are a beautiful addition to these as well. So this is our bit of a summary for the Nursing M Simulator Geriatric. Now, diversity, equity, inclusion have been guiding stars in Laerdal for a long time now. And in addition to the Nursing M Simulator in dark that you saw me demonstrate earlier, we also have released the African descent front skin and wig as well kit for the Nursing M Simulator. Now that was a couple of years ago, and we have heard from the market that you would like this combined into a single mannequin. So we're excited to announce that we're also going to be releasing the Nursing M Simulator African descent full body assembled mannequin as well, to complement our range of full body mannequins. Now I know we promised you a sneak peek, and what I'd like to show you now is Nursing M Simulator Male. This is our male version of the Nursing M Simulator platform, and it will be available with a front skin, new male arms and male genitalia. These will be available in both an upgrade kit as well as a full body mannequin to allow you to really continue on the journey of diversity, equity, inclusion. The skins are very simple to take on and off the mannequin. It's a matter of unzipping on the top, unzipping the sides, and taking them off and swapping them over. Now, as I mentioned before, you can take your simulation training further by combining the modular platform with additional solutions. The ASL 5000 for advanced respiratory management training, and SimCapture performance and debriefing management system. Having a high fidelity modular platform that allows you to quickly change your students' training to address diverse types of patients is itself an efficient solution to having purchased multiple mannequins to achieve the same versatility in your training. But where do you start when you have this modular capability and you need that same level of diversity in your patient case scenarios without having to create a case for each patient? We now transition to the next segment in our presentation, Integrating your modular platform with a robust online library of expert-authored patient cases. Meet Laerdal's Scenario Cloud. While Laerdal Scenario Cloud was originally introduced a while ago, many are not aware of the power this learning library can provide when pairing patient cases with your high-fidelity simulator. Imagine having over 500 validated scenarios from industry experts right at your fingertips, ranging from basic skills to specialized practice. It even includes 20 complimentary free scenarios that are available to you to help you optimize the use of your simulators, such as Nursing and Simulator. Laerdal's Scenario Cloud is the perfect companion for your SimLab, facilitating training so that your faculty can spend more time with students in the lab without the time-consuming task of having to create training scenarios, as that part's already done for them. So, as an example, you have a Nursing and Simulator patient in your simulation lab. Faculty may want to look at the training scenarios available for a Nursing and Simulator. All the scenarios are fully equipped with setup tips, equipment checklists, learning objectives, assessment and debriefing points, guiding questions and evidence-based references, just about everything they would need to implement the simulation. As they create their program, faculty can group all of their patient case scenarios as part of one collection, or they may group cases based on curriculum goals or other themes. With seamless integration from your SimPad or Leap PC, you can easily choose a scenario that meets your curricular needs and quickly be on your way to running high-quality, hands-on simulation training sessions. To learn more about Scenario Cloud, please visit scenariocloud.laerdal.com. Currently, we're offering a 90-day free trial, which will allow you full access to the scenario library, as well as access for up to 15 additional team members. Now, to give you an overview of our virtual simulation solution, Next-Gen vSim for Nursing, I'm going to hand it back over to Will. Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Lucas. So far, we've seen how you can provide a more robust simulation experience for students with many patients using Nursing and Simulator's modular platform, and how faculty can prepare for simulation-based training in the lab with a wide library of expert-developed scenarios covering different areas of practice with Laerdal Scenario Cloud. We've heard from schools who have voiced the challenge of limited access to simulation lab practice time or limited faculty available to cover simulation-based training. Providing efficient, quality learning early on will improve outcomes when students graduate and go into practice. There was a study done in the US from 2016 to 2020 with more than 5,000 new nurse graduates, where it was only found that 14% showed entry-level competencies or readiness for residency. This leads us to the final segment of today's presentation, making the most of independent practice by students outside of the simulation lab. We'd like to introduce you to the next generation of virtual simulation for building those critical decision-making skills from practically anywhere, with Next-Gen vSim for Nursing. Some of you may be familiar with the original vSim for Nursing currently available worldwide. What we want to show you today is an overview of the recently released next-generation version. It has been updated for an enhanced user experience. Next-Gen vSim for Nursing was developed in partnership with Wolters Kluwer and the National League for Nursing. Using Next-Gen vSim for Nursing, students can experience patient case scenarios that have been validated by an expert advisory board to reflect the best practices in nursing. Next-Gen vSim for Nursing offers modules in multiple clinical scenarios. Currently available are the Fundamentals and Medical Surgical modules. Available for pre-sale are Maternity, Pediatric, Maternity and Pediatric Combo, Pharmacology, the new Advanced Medical Surgical Critical Care, Mental Health, Health Assessment, and Gerontology modules. Our teams have worked together to provide students with the most advanced virtual simulation experience, challenging them to exercise clinical judgment and decision-making for building competence to provide high-quality patient care. With Next-Gen vSim for Nursing, students take on the role of a nurse in a simulated healthcare setting, where they practice how to properly assess and care for patients while following the nursing process in a hands-on virtual environment. Just like they would experience in a real clinical setting, students practice patient encounters and interactive communication with a wide range of virtual patients of different ages, genders, medical conditions, symptoms, and ethnicities. One of vSim's differentiating features are the true-to-life visuals and 3D patient graphics with realism. Students experience patient communication and responses such as sweating, cyanosis, pain, and patient distress, which allows them to make the most of their simulation experience. Another key feature of Next-Gen vSim for Nursing is the SBAR, or Situation, Background, Assessment, and Recommendation tool. This feature helps students identify aspects of the virtual simulation using the SBAR method, which will help their communication skills as well as patient handoff in the future. Including vSim as a component of your program solution-based training provides students with personalized feedback to help them build confidence and prepare for their final skills assessments. NextGen vSim for Nursing exposes students to updated NextGen NCLEX style quizzing and debriefing with feedback from the simulation as well as tips for improvement. Each module provides students with access to multiple patient cases. The same patient cases can be found on Laerdal Scenario Cloud, therefore making it seamless to follow the patient scenario from individual practice outside of the simulation lab to achieving competency utilizing the same patient scenario on a nursing and simulator, for example. This takes the student's learning experience even further. When our developers created this new next generation of virtual simulation, it was important the solution could be practiced anywhere by students in any setting. Whether it's in the library or the dorm rooms, we wanted to make sure vSim for Nursing was as portable as possible without sacrificing any of the integrity of the simulation experience. As a result, NextGen vSim for Nursing is now tablet compatible. It is supported on both iOS and Android, allowing students to download the vSim for Nursing app and take their simulation practice with them anywhere, in addition to the web-based access on their laptops. NextGen vSim for Nursing offers a wide variety of features and benefits to your nursing program. Whether it be the enhanced 3D patient graphics and communication, updated NextGen NCLEX quizzing style, the SBAR tool, or tablet compatibility, the solution offers a completely unique learning experience for the next generation of nursing students.
All right, Lucas, looks like we have some questions for the audience. Everyone, I just wanted to address if we are going to try to answer every question that you did put in the chat. If we do not get to it, we will follow up via email after the webinar with the correct answer. So with that being said, Lucas, why don't we just get right into the chat?
Let's do it. Let's jump in.
Sounds good. So I know you gave us a great overview of all of the features and functionality for Nursing and Simulator as far as the different modules. Is there any actual feature or functionality difference between them?
Yeah, look, the mannequins that you can see here, they're all based on the Nursing and Simulator platform. So underneath the hood, you will have all the standard feature sets that Nursing and Simulator has as well. But in addition to that, depending on the mannequin that you have. So for example, the male Nursing and Simulator would have the added functionality of the male genitalia included. The female would have the female for Foley catheterization. Geriatric, to give you another example, has a different IV pre-port system, has specific eyes for geriatric care, has genitalia for geriatric care. So there are additional functionality depending on the mannequin combination that you have, but underneath it all, you can be assured as well that it has, at a minimum, the Nursing and Simulator standard features.
Great. So I know you just gave a quick overview of all of the modules. So what actually does come included with Nursing and Simulator? Do you get all the skins, or is it particular to kind of which one you purchase?
Yeah, no, good question. So it is particular to which one you purchase. So if you purchase the geriatric full body mannequin, you will get the skins and everything associated with the geriatric model. If you're buying the dark model, for example, Nursing and Simulator Standard Dark, then you would get the skins associated with that. If, for example, you would like to complement with the African descent front skin, if you already have a dark mannequin, then you would just purchase the African descent skin in addition and complement it with your mannequin, really working on that modular approach with them.
Great. I saw we had a question in the chat actually about the IV ports and fluid use in Nursing and Simulator. So when you do use fluids, where does it actually go?
Great question, great question. So Nursing and Simulator, a little different to maybe some of the simulators that people are familiar with. I'm thinking, for example, Siman3G, where we do want a specific fluid distilled water to be used. With Nursing and Simulator, it is purely a straight through from the port here to one of the connectors in the back. It's just a tube running straight through. So as long as you connect an actual drainage bag on the other side, whatever fluids you give run through the line and come out into the drainage bag.
Awesome. So could you also maybe cover some of the cleaning solutions and processes or best practices for Nursing and Simulator?
Yeah, so look, Nursing and Simulator comes with a silicone skin. You do get a lot of benefits with the silicone skin from your cleaning regime at the end of the day. You don't have so much of an issue removing adhesives, dirt. You can actually write on her with a ballpoint pen and then wipe off as well straight away without tattooing permanently the simulator. So with that added benefit, the other benefits are of the silicone skin, as I mentioned before, it has a nicer, warmer touch. So a lot of benefits. The final one is cleaning her. Isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol is just a fantastic catch-all liquid to really be able to clean her from top to bottom, no problem.
Alrighty.
So isopropyl, rubbing alcohol.
Great. How about height and weight on nursing and simulator?
Yeah, no, good question. So nursing and simulator standard is about 70 pounds or 32 kilo. Now, they vary only subtly. It really depends on the combination that we have here and how thick the skin is. There are different features that come on those. So it'll probably vary by 2 or 3 pounds, but generally 70 pounds, 32 kilo.
Thanks. So a little bit more about the operation of nursing and simulator and maybe using it with different products. Could you go over how she's operated and then also maybe a few other products that work with her?
Sure. And I think we touched on it a little bit that you can use adjunct things to really stretch your simulation further as far as technology goes. So, I mean, if we're thinking from an operation point of view, you have the option of running her on a sim pad. Works really well for those in situ training, in and out, or very kind of maybe students peer-to-peer training. Really nice way to really control your mannequin from that perspective. Now, if you wanted a little bit more advanced functionality, maybe linking with video systems, others, we do recommend a Leap software to actually run her on the laptop as well. It just kind of makes it more powerful from that perspective there. So it is compatible with both of those. Then the part that I alluded to in the videos as well is that there's other technologies that we can add to her to really extend her reach out there further. Give you an example, the ASL 5000, the respiratory simulator. It is essentially a very high advanced lung that instead of putting it into her, we can now keep outside, cable her through, and now you've opened up whole respiratory training. Everything from PEEP to CPAP to literally asthma, any presentations that you have from a lung perspective. Other things that come to mind would be sim capture, for example, for your video recording, data collection, and frankly, data insights, using that to really drive your simulation and looking at improvements, both from a student perspective, but a whole curriculum perspective as well, where you can get those gains, actionable insights, and improvements in your curriculum.
So I know you touched kind of on the sim pad, which we have right here. Could you actually adjust either her heart rate and what other features are available for you to adjust on nursing and simulator?
Completely. Look, with the nursing and simulator, I can adjust her heart rate. I can start automatic blood pressures even through here. I can change her breath sounds, both front and back, anterior and posterior. You can change any of her monitoring presentation. So your saturation, your respiratory rate, things like that. Your volumes you can control through here as well, as far as even her breathing, respiratory rate volume, her speaking volume. Trying to think, essentially all her features, you can control her pulse strength. You can turn off pulses, individual ones, if you'd like to present a different presentation. So very simple to use. Basically with this little unit, you can control all of her features that she's designed for.
Great, and I know we actually touched on cleaning, and I see there's a question in the chat right now about cleaning the bags where the fluid would go. Is there a suggested cleaning solution for that?
Look, the beauty is that isopropyl alcohol would work really well for that as well. If you give it a washout, it tends to cut through any of the mold or things that may grow in there. That alcohol really cuts through and then evaporates quite nicely as well. We do recommend drying out any of the fluid reservoirs, any tubes, things like that, where you have used them for fluids. Dry them out before putting them back in, just to reduce the amount of mold that may grow. But look, isopropyl works really well. Nice, stable fluid or liquid for cleaning.
I see we have a question about the CPR capabilities in nursing and simulator. Could you touch on that too?
Yeah, look, nursing and simulator is designed to perform CPR as you would on a regular patient. We don't have QCPR or CPR feedback built into, for example, the SimPad or LEAP system at this stage. It is definitely something on our roadmap. In the future, we'd like to incorporate it, but no plans just yet from that perspective. We do have a lot of other plans that we can't wait to show everybody. But you can perform good CPR on her, quality as you would on a regular patient to the standards today. She just doesn't provide that feedback into your system.
And I know we just gave a quick overview of the LEAP software as well as the SimPad, and I see that we have another question. Is that included with the nursing and simulator, or is it an add-on?
It depends which control unit you would like with the nursing and simulator. I would talk with your local representative to pick the best option for you, whether it's a SimPad or the LEAP.
Great. Really up to their preference, whatever they prefer.
It really is up to your preference and your needs in your local institution as well.
And the SimPad would be additional to the nursing and simulator. Just wanted to make that clear because I know that was also part of the question. The There is another question about would a nursing home actually benefit from having a nursing and simulator? So I would imagine for training it would be great to have, especially the geriatric version.
We think so, yes. There are many fundamental nursing skills that you can perform on the mannequin, and we have the geriatric option as well. These are skills that healthcare professionals in a hospital setting, in an aged care, I mean, you name it, where we treat patients, from a nursing care perspective, it fits beautifully. We do have sacral wounds as well for her. We have staged wounds for those extended bed stay presentations. So she really suits quite nicely a nursing home type of setting.
Great. How about the blood pressure? Could you just give a quick overview of that? I know you touched on it.
Yeah. So we do have in both arms, we have speakers for Korotkov sounds to allow you to actually perform a manual blood pressure on one side or a manual blood pressure on the other side. You can actually even take one at the same time. So have a student on each side performing a blood pressure on there. So that's your option from a manual perspective. Alternatively, when you pop a automatic blood pressure cuff on there, or even just a prop will do, you can cycle your automatic blood pressure on your patient monitor and set it for maybe 3-minute intervals, 2-minute, whatever you like, 5 minutes, and it'll take a blood pressure and then display for you at that point in time what the patient's blood pressure is.
I know we touched on the genitalia area of the simulators before. As far as what comes with nursing and simulator, does male and female genitalia come with it?
Really good question. It depends. Is the answer. If you were buying the nursing and simulator standard, she only comes with the female genitalia. If when we release the nursing and simulator male, the male will only come with a male genitalia. However, the geriatric nursing and simulator does come with both. It comes with both male and female because they are age appropriate for what you would see in that presentation as well. So we bundle those together, and as I mentioned earlier as well, we try to make the face and the front skin a little gender agnostic.
Sure. So I see we also have a question of wound care and injections. So is that available on Nursing and Simulator, or is there anything that we can add on potentially for that?
We do. We have a wound care kit that comes with staged feet, staged feet are separate. The wound care kit comes with some wounds, both sutures, non-sutured, staples, as well as a sacral wound. So you can perform that there. From an injection point of view, we do have a subcutaneous injection module that you can slide underneath there, but she also has intramuscular sites around for injection purposes.
Great. I'm just scrolling the chat here for, so does Nursing and Simulator have a speaker inside of her?
She does. She comes with a speaker. If you hook up a headset or microphone to either your SimPad or Leap software, you can have two-way conversation with the student.
As far as battery life, how long would a Nursing and Simulator fully charged kind of last for?
That's a really good question. I have to check the official wording on that, but I can tell you it'll last all day. With our testing in the lab, we find after 8 hours of continuous running, she's still working fine. However, I just would need to check the actual official wording that we have around her, but I do know that she has a much longer battery life than we have seen with our mannequins in the past.
Sure. And also, let's see here, what else? So the torso and head skins are swappable. How about the arms and the legs, for example?
Yeah, good question. And I see another question there asking about the IV on the geriatric.
Sure.
So I may kind of take this in a two hit
Totally.
as far as I answer this in two parts. So the skin is interchangeable. The arms, you will see that we have two different designs of a pre-port, and if you play back the video, you should see it between the geriatric, you'll see what that looks like, or also the pre-port that we have on the Nursing and Simulator. These vary in that this pre-port that comes standard, if you just attach a syringe and you give fluids. With the other pre-port that we have on the other arm, it will actually allow you to pull out an IV cannula with a needle and cannula. You can do the testing. You actually pierce the entry site with the needle and cannula, and you remove the needle, and then you attach either the fluid bag or a syringe directly into the cannula, and you give drugs. So the student is really able to go through the process of putting an IV in a lot more realistically than you would actually find with a pre-port or one over here. So I know that doesn't quite answer your question as far as other arms interchangeable. So I kind of went off the side to show you there's two options, and we are planning soon to release the female with the new arms as well. What that means, though, is that the arms are completely compatible between the older one, the newer one. It's just a click and play. And in addition, we also have an IV arm that has veins in them that is available as an accessory for the mannequin that you can actually do IV of actual veins.
Sure.
Sorry, of an IV arm. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't know if you wanted to showcase the pre-ported.
It'll probably be a little hard for me to bring it in over here, but it's the hole that you see on that one. You just place, as I mentioned, the needle and the cannula, and you remove the needle and then attach your fluid IV giving set or syringe directly onto that IV cannula that you've left in there, and you insert fluids as you would be. So it's just that the final design is a little bit different there.
Awesome. I see we have another question about monitor. So our own Laerdal monitor, is it included in the cost of nursing and simulator?
No, so the monitor is similar to your control unit. It really depends on your needs and what you would like to achieve with your simulation. So we really didn't want to include it in the purchase price for everybody. It really depends on your needs and allows you to customize your solution.
I see another one here about an extension that would allow SimPad to be further away from the mannequin. Would that be a situation where they could implement Leap, perhaps?
That's a good question, actually. I would probably have to get in touch with our IT guys to really get some good guidance here. One way that you can extend it, of course, is cabling.
Sure.
Into your system, potentially you're cabled in, and point to point, you're controlling from a further distance. The question would be from a Wi-Fi, because I'm assuming if we're talking SimPad, we're probably thinking Wi-Fi. I know there's some extender options out in the market as far as being able to extend a signal further. I just don't know if we've tested it out on our end, and I would have to defer to the IT team to really give us some good advice there.
Okay.
But I mean, as a first pass, if you cable it hardwired, then you do reach a lot more length there. You may need some boosters along the way, but it should work fine.
Sounds good, and I see we have another one about actually our first Scenario Cloud question. So is it possible to try Scenario Cloud actually before you buy it?
It is. So it comes with, you can sign up for the 90-day free trial. And I believe with that you can have about 15 users,
yep.
I believe, and it's for 90 days, and you get the full option of Scenario Cloud. So it's not like you're looking through a little trial version, you're actually getting access to the complete system.
And then one more here. So how many devices can you use to run scenarios from Scenario Cloud?
Yeah, look, as many as possible. I mean, sorry, I say as possible. As many as you have. There really is no limit set with the account.
I'm just scrolling down in the chat here.
I saw a question just before I may be able to answer.
Sure.
The question was about whether what we're showing is a basic AN version of the configuration, or whether this is nursing AN simulator. So what we saw in the video was a nursing AN simulator configuration. So this is a different mannequin to the nursing AN classic, or the basic version. That is still available. So we have not discontinued nursing AN classic. We really find that both of them have a place in a simulation lab, in a training program, and it really depends what you're trying to teach and then the right tool to execute that.
Okay. And it looks like we have a vSim for Nursing question here. So is vSim for Nursing a subscription or per license purchase? And I can actually take this.
Beautiful, thank
you.
you.
So next-gen vSim for Nursing, as well as the original vSim for Nursing, is a per license purchase for each student in your cohort. So it's not an actual subscription, it's a physical license that's good for 1 year for the majority of the modules that are available, except for the medical surgical module. And then, yeah, so another question here about purchasing vSim separately. vSim would be separate from a nursing and simulator purchase, as well as Scenario Cloud. And as far as subject matter in vSim, there's a question here about compiling different subjects into one module. There are predetermined modules with coinciding subjects with them. You cannot actually stack modules on top of each other. You will just have to purchase the individual modules, for example, for gerontology or pharmacology, for example.
I've got a question there about sound, voice, radio waves, or voice over IP. I'm assuming we're talking about the mannequin sound, the voiceover. It's not radio frequency. I'm not sure if we use the VoIP system as such. I believe it's, at the very minimum, it's digitized into here and then sent to the mannequin. So it's not a radio wave or a frequency that you need to tune into.
Okay.
Conditions of warranty and service repair. We follow the standard warranty. I would have to double check that. I believe it's 12-month manufacturer warranty.
Yeah, we can handle that
but
offline.
We may need to take that offline. I'm so sorry, I just don't know the exact details.
Let's see here. So another question for vSim for Nursing. So can students use a tablet or phone to practice with next-gen vSim for Nursing? So next-gen vSim for Nursing actually is only available on tablet only.
The app is available through the iOS App Store as well as Google Play, but it's only available through the tablet stores on iOS and Google Play. So unfortunately, they can't practice on a phone, but they'd be able to practice on a tablet.
Now, Scott, I can see you've got one in there as well about the dark-skinned female base and wanting to move to a light-skinned female. To be able to achieve that, you would be looking at, it would be the upgrade kit, for example, for maybe you could go to male. Let's use that as an example. So if we want to go from the female here to the male, because we have the two colors, you would get the upgrade kit for the male, and you are correct. In addition, you would need the legs to be able to match the color set. But it should just be the upgrade kit. Need to double check, and maybe the back skin is required as well, just to really match up those colors.
There's another question here. So are the possibilities IVR CPR feedback for all countries?
Oh, of course, yes. We do plan anything that we launch to launch it globally. So it would be for all countries. Now we're racing through the questions. I feel like we've missed some along the way, so I do apologize if we have. I think we're starting to run out of a little bit of time. She does have a speaker inside of her.
Let me just scroll up to the top here to make sure.
Yeah, we'll just have a real quick one. But any questions we will follow up with in, I believe, a document or in chat.
A few more.
The male genitals are interchangeable with all nursing and simulators. It's a different, we use different materials and different design between nursing and simulator and classic. So that the two aren't compatible between those two mannequins, those two platforms, but within the nursing and simulator range, completely compatible with all of them.
Okay, and I see we have another one for vSim for nursing here. So how long is each scenario in vSim for nursing? So each scenario actually has a 30-minute time frame for each student to complete during this scenario, and they'll be able to get feedback immediately after via the vSim SBAR, as well as feedback that's available per student.
Got a couple of quick questions there. Problem with running nursing and sim next to another one? No. They're not running on the same radio frequency or anything like that. You end up having a direct connection between your sim pad or LEAP software and laptop and the mannequin. So it's a discrete connection between the two. You're not using one control unit to control many or one radio frequency, so there's no risk in having them close to each other at all. And the hair can be changed. There's a question there, can the hair be changed on a mannequin? They are simple wigs that you can change over.
And you can also add your own spin to it if you wanted to kind of make it your own simulation and add your own wig if necessary.
Definitely. And we touched on this question before. The fluids, when you inject into here, as long as you connect onto the connector here, a drainage IV bag, it comes with the mannequin as well, but you can set up your own system. Then the fluids and medications you provide are collected in the fluid bag.
It's great. A pink wig and a nose ring on your NRCN simulator, that would be.
We're going to need to see a picture of that.
One more on vSim. So are you able to change or edit any of the outcomes of the scenarios that are available? So unfortunately, no, you're not able to edit or make any changes to the outcomes. These scenarios are actually created in conjunction with the National League for Nursing as well as Wolters Kluwer. So they're run and validated by experts already. And it looks like we don't have any more questions in the chat.
Not that I can see that we haven't answered. We may have missed something.
But other than that, I mean, we can also address any questions that we missed, like we said, offline following this. So I actually, since we're going to close out here soon, looks like our time is kind of coming to an end here, and we've kind of answered all of the chat questions that we could. So just wanted to thank everyone for their questions, as well as taking the time to join us today. And I also wanted to thank Lucas for his help and his knowledge today. So to help address the nursing shortage and refresh thinking and add a new perspective for the future of nursing education takes some refreshed thinking. You'll receive a recording of this presentation via email in the coming days. In addition, if we're not able to answer your question live, we'll work to answer your question via email. If you're interested in learning more information about any of the products that we showcased today, you can visit the URL that's showing on the slide. I hope everyone has a great day and a great remainder of National Nurses Week, and thank you again for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.